We're going to talk to now Lisa Minnow, travel editor at The Sun. Heathrow just put out a new statement saying we expect significant disruption over the coming days and passengers should not travel to the airport under any circumstances until the airport reopens. At the current situation, they're due to reopen at 23:59 tonight, i.e. midnight. Now, whether that means they're going to fly any planes at midnight, I don't actually know. Let's see what Lisa can tell us. Lisa, very good morning to you.
Morning.
This is a massive, massive disaster, isn't it? I mean, you know, we started the show this morning just reporting on a fire that had knocked out some electricity. But, I mean, this is clearly going to go on for quite a long time.
It is going to go on for many days to come. We've got 291,000 passengers that were due to either fly into or out of Heathrow today that will no longer be doing so. Getting them to their destination is going to be a significant challenge. It's the busiest day of the week at the busiest airport in the UK.
So it's the busiest airport in the world, isn't it? One of them.
It was once at one point. Unfortunately, we're no longer the biggest in the world, but we are a significant airport and, of course, a big hub airport with a lot of flights, connecting flights going through it. So this is going to be absolute chaos, particularly for British Airways. They have 51% of the flights that are going in and out of Heathrow. After that, it would be Virgin Atlantic and Lufthansa, the next biggest impacted. But I think if you look at it in terms of previous kind of problems we've had, so the Icelandic ash cloud and also a massive snowstorm in 2010, that impacted hundreds of thousands of people because the flights were cancelled for days afterwards. You've got planes in the wrong places, you've got crew in the wrong places, so it's going to be a real challenge for both airlines and the passengers over the coming days.
And the big question is going to be, and it's already being a big question on my show this morning, is what on earth is going on with the backup systems for this kind of situation? Because first of all, how is it possible for a main sort of substation which powers one of the biggest airports in the world, which apparently sits outside the perimeter fence of Heathrow, which is a first weird thing. Second thing, what happened to the backup systems? According to Ed Miliband this morning, they were also affected. Do you know what the backup systems are, or if they didn't work, why they didn't work?
Well, the backup generator was impacted by the fire as well, which is, again, something that I think there's going to be many questions asked over the coming days as to how just not only the substation itself, but the backup generator was also impacted.
So that suggests that the backup generator is in the same place as the main source of power, which is insane, isn't it?
It would seem to be. I mean, I think there's going to be many questions asked over the coming days as to how this is going to be allowed to have taken place. But you have to remember, this is creaking infrastructure at the best of times. This is an airport that has been there for many years, but has just been added to piece by bit piece. It's creaking at the sort of the seams in terms of just the sheer number of flights going in and out. That's why we've had all of the discussion about the third runway at Heathrow over the last couple of months. So anything like this, the slightest thing will cause chaos. There's very little resilience in the system at all. So definitely something needs to be looked at to make sure it's not happening.
But of course,
again.
I mean, I was talking to somebody just the other day about the expansion of the runway and what was going to need to be done from the building sense. They're talking about rerouting the M25, and one of the reasons given for why they want more people into Heathrow apparently is that it's such a profitable airport. It's the most profitable airport, I'm told, in terms of what people spend when they're there. In terms of the shopping is great, the duty-free stuff is amazing, and so they want the commercial aspect of that to be kind of expanded. So if they've been making that kind of money, serious money, Heathrow Airport, surely they should be spending it, as we always say, to water companies and to electricity companies, all the rest of it, on their infrastructure.
Very much so, and I think you will find that airlines will agree with you in that they have some of the highest charges, Heathrow, in terms of what they charge passengers to use the airport, and the airlines are saying exactly the same as you this week alone, saying, look, where is the significant investment into the infrastructure? They're not happy with the way that the airport runs at the moment. They think that it could be run much better. So this is going to be another big thing for Heathrow to have to answer questions, because airlines were already frustrated before this happened by the infrastructure at the airport.
And this will cost Heathrow a bunch of money, won't it? Because other airlines that can't land there, who've had to compensate their passengers, will come after Heathrow for the money. I mean, it's a real, I don't want to say the word, but it starts with S and ends with storm. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, and actually it's the airlines I feel sorriest for, because they're the ones having to deal with this right now. They have a duty of care to all of their passengers. So this is going to cost them significant amounts of money. They're going to have hotel rooms for passengers, other flights for passengers, food, drink alone. This is going to cost airlines a huge amount of money, and it's not their fault.
No, right. I mean, I was talking to Steve Denyer this morning from Virgin Radio. He was due to fly out to Thailand today, and he said he booked it all on lastminute.com. He can't get hold of anybody. He obviously isn't going to be flying to Thailand today, to Bangkok. He obviously isn't going to be able to get in touch with the hotel, he doesn't think. And people like that just don't know what they're supposed to do. I mean, what are they supposed to do? If you're in that situation and you were supposed to be flying out for a holiday today from Heathrow, what can you do? Because you can't get through to the airline.
Right, it very much depends how you've booked your trip. So if you've booked with a tour operator under the ABTA and ATOL rules, they are going to be the ones that you're going to go to. So that's the likes of maybe, say, TUI or someone like that. You go to them if it's a package holiday.
Right.
If you booked a flight only, you're going to have to speak to your airline. Now, there is no compensation due, but they have a duty of care to you. So they should be getting you to your destination as quickly as possible. That's the issue right now. We've got 291,000 people who are not where they need to be. And you can't magic seats out of nowhere because flights are going to be fairly busy at this time of year anyway. So I think it's going to be a real challenge. They should be providing you with overnight accommodation, food and drink. If they don't, you can buy that yourself, but make sure you keep all your receipts and make sure it's commensurate to what you're actually doing. So no five-star hotels and champagne breakfasts.
Right.
It's got to be reasonable expenses. But the one thing I would say is that although you are due a refund, an automatic refund, if you don't want to travel anymore, some people would like to take that. But bear in mind, if you do actually get your cash refund, which you are due, you are entitled to that, the airline has no duty of care to you after that. They have no responsibility. So it's much better sense to see if the airline or you yourself can get you to your destination by any means possible.
Right. OK, good advice. Lisa, thanks very much indeed. Lisa Minow, travel editor at The Sun.